In this video, I will be talking about the Three Kingdoms period of China, focusing on the many talented heroes of that time. Hao Zhao was born at an unknown date, but first came to prominence in the year 220. He is described as a heroic, masculine and strong military general who served the Wei Kingdom throughout his life, first for Tao Pi and then Tao Rui. He hailed from Taiyuan Commandery, where he joined up with the Wei military at a young age. His exceptional talents in warfare earned him fame among the locals as well as foreign tribes. He was soon promoted to general of a miscellaneous title and was transferred to Hexi. His first noteworthy victory was against a group of rebels that surfaced in the year 220 when three different administrators of separate commanderies conspired and turned against Wei. This led to opportunist strikes by non-Han tribes from Wu Wei Commandery who took advantage of the chaos. To make things even worse, many nobles of respected clans from the Yong and Liang provinces also sought this opportunity to rebel. The administrator of Wu Wei pleaded for help from a Wei official, Songzhi, who currently had Hao Zhao and the lesser-known Wei Ping under his command. Songzhi was restricted by the Han central government from acting, but he didn't think it unreasonable for them to exercise their judgment and act accordingly, so he held a war council on how to deal with the uprisings. As some of the rebels had no choice but to fight, it was agreed upon to split the rebels into two groups, good and bad, then to incite the good group to join Wei. In doing so, they would increase their numbers and morale, whilst at the same time reducing the rebels. They carried out this plan until Songzhi's force got support from a government official, Zhang Ji, thus enabling him to assist in relieving Wu Wei. Victory was achieved and the rebel leaders were executed, whereafter the uprising soon dispersed. Hao Zhao was then placed in charge of lands west of the Yellow River, where he upheld law in the region for over 10 years. During this time, in 227, another rebellion broke out in Shiping Commandery. Two officials had been murdered, so Hao Zhao accompanied government forces in suppressing them, where he successfully killed the rebel leader. By the year 229, the general-in-chief, Tao Zhen, successfully predicted Zhuge Liang's second northern campaign against Wei, ofchengkang, so he assigned Hao Zhao, with only 1,000 men, to help fortify the already well-defended fortress. Zhuge Liang was well aware of the castle's defences, and so came prepared with an army numbering over 100,000, and a choice of siege weapons. The Shou army arrived at Chengkang before Hao Zhao could finish his fortifications, as he was lacking soldiers in his unit. The first strategy employed by Zhuge Liang was to send a friend of Hao Zhao's to convince him to join Shou. Stubbornly, Hao Zhao had no time for it, and responded by saying, "The laws of Wei are what you practice. The nature of me is what you know. I have received so much from my country, and I can't let down my family. You ought to say no more. I'll only die defending this city." Hao Zhao thought he had made himself clear, but his friend soon arrived again, trying to convince him to surrender as his smaller force stood no chance of victory. Hao Zhao aimed an arrow at his friend and said, "What I said earlier remains solid. I know you, but my arrow doesn't." Zhuge Liang launched his attack shortly after this, and did not expect much resistance. The siege ladders went up, which Hao Zhao countered by using fire arrows to burn them back down, setting fire to platforms, killing many men in the process. Whilst the ladders were still on fire, Zhuge Liang sent his siege rams to attack the gate, but they too were countered by Hao Zhao's quick thinking, after he hurriedly gathered some boulders which he used to destroy the rams. Zhuge Liang was forced to retreat briefly, to plan a new strategy as he didn't expect such determination from Hao Zhao. Zhuge Liang then decided to fill up the moats and chasms surrounding the castle, in order to make more attack points for his siege towers. This all went to plan until the men assaulted the main wall, when they discovered Hao Zhao had constructed a second interior wall just behind the first. With no siege towers or ladders to climb the second wall, the Shu soldiers became trapped and were easy pickings for Hao Zhao's archer unit. The third wave of attack adopted the mining tactic, which involves digging a tunnel underneath the wall, then collapsing it or setting explosives. Although Zhuge Liang tweaked it slightly, choosing against damaging the wall, as he wanted to dig a direct route to surprise Hao Zhao's unit. Hao Zhao also countered this by digging his own tunnels that diverted Shu forces away from their objective. Then, upon hearing of Wei reinforcements en route by Zhang He, Zhuge Liang was forced to retreat. This secured victory for Hao Zhao, and he was massively celebrated throughout the Wei state. He was promoted to Marquis status and summoned to the capital city, where he was praised by the current emperor, Tao Rui. He spoke with an official who was from the same hometown as Hao Zhao, where he said, "Your hometown has such bold and forthright men. What's there for me to worry about if I have generals as fiery as them?" Hao Zhao's career was about to skyrocket, but in a twist of fate, while stood at the capital, he got critically ill and passed away. Hao Zhao asked his son for a simple funeral in plain clothes. He noted how he had dug up many graves in his life to make equipment from the coffins. This, on top of grave robbers or thieves, led Hao Zhao to believe a luxurious burial was a waste of money that could be better spent on the living. If you enjoyed my video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.